Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tuesday, June 23rd, and this is the Parks and Recreation Subcommittee meeting. This is a motion that was referred to us by Councilor John Leahy, seconded by Councilor Ed Kennedy. City Council requests Park and Recreation Subcommittee meet to discuss replacing the scoreboard at Colley Stadium. My colleagues are here. If the clerk could call the roll.
Chairman Mercier.
Here.
Council Leahy.
Here.
Council Rourke.
Here.
That's three present.
Thank you very much. Present here are my two colleagues, Councilor Danny Rourke and the maker of the motion, Councilor John Leahy. We also have City Manager Kevin Murphy and City Solicitor Christine O'Connor, along with my colleague, Councilor Corey Belanger. With us in the audience that is very interested in this subcommittee are the movers and shakers of sports. We have our athletic director, Jim DeProfio. We have former mayor and former city councilor, Edward Bud Caulfield. We have the father-in-law to the mayor, Tom Machado. We have the owner of, proprietor of the Owl Diner, Tommy Shanahan. We have Butch Fradiani, former employee par excellence of the Inspectional Service Department, Butch Fradiani. We have Gary Seppi and John Chemley, co-owners of Trinity Ambulance. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I just want to say that we're going to try to do the best we can because there is an issue out there. We have $1 million stadium and a 5 and 10 cents scoreboard, and we're trying to balance it out so that we have a state-of-the-art scoreboard, and I'm sure the movers and shakers in the city will see that happen. We have corporate sponsorships out there. We have people that are collecting whatever they can to make this happen. I hear that the scoreboard would run somewhere like $28,000, $30,000. I don't know that. Perhaps this is just the start of something good. I don't want to make a decision right here and now tonight. I think that there's many aspects and possibilities that can happen here. We also have our Parks and Recreation Commissioner, Tom Bellegarde. Thank you, Commissioner, for being here. Every time we discuss sports or parks or recreation or stadiums, Tom Bellegarde is always with us, so I'm very grateful that everybody's here. Don't think that we are rushing to judgment and making a decision tonight. We will not do that. I want to open up this forum to have you each come up here and speak. We have 1 hour. We're not going to rush you. It's nice and cool in here thanks to the air conditioning system. But I want to refer now to the maker of the motion, John Leahy.
Thank you, Councilor Mercier. So basically, we want to replace the scoreboard at Colley Stadium. It's my understanding that we need to figure out through maybe the law department how to do it. So it's my understanding that there's a couple of different ways that you do this, either through donations or through somebody purchasing the whole scoreboard and donating it back to the city. So that's my understanding. This basically just started. We did a lot of work at Colley Stadium. We put a new track in, and like many people, I just want to see a new scoreboard, and got a little complicated along the way. So I'm sure tonight we can figure out a way how to replace the scoreboard. So that's basically what we're here for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Councilor Rourke.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Yeah, I'm interested to see what the what options are available for tonight. I don't think the scoreboard has changed much since I was there, probably back in 1991, 92. So, as one of Coach DeProfio's players. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what the the public says and what our solicitor manager say as well. So, thank you.
So, if I could open it up to hear what the public has to say, Mr. DeProfio, Coach.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'd first like to start by expressing our sincere thanks to of all the interest and support from the gentlemen and the public who are here tonight and from the city. The facility is beautiful. We were able to host the Merrimack Valley Conference Championship on the track this year, as well as the MIAA Division I Championship, and we get nothing but compliments about the facility and people having a very positive experience coming to the city, which is very important. So, but I would also like to thank everyone for their particular interest in a new scoreboard to add to the facility, and would like to just let everyone know that we'll be happy at the high school to cooperate in any way possible, committees or whatever it is that we could do to work with whatever the council decides. We're very happy to do that, and we'll work cooperatively as you wish. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Councilor Bud Coffey.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, members of the council, the law department, city clerk, and most importantly, Manager Murphy. And I want to thank all these people for giving up their time to be with us here this evening. In 2006, with a great deal of thanks to the Lowell delegation, $600,000 was expended for new turf at that stadium. Under the Manager Martin administration, all the stands were refurbished. There's a brand new rubber track at that complex. And who visits College Stadium? It's just not Lowell High School. MIAA Super Bowl championships are played there. Pop Warner football is played there. Professional soccer, track and field events, cheerleading events now, I believe, are held there. And what's before us, Madam Chair, is you have $1 million complex like you just explained. And the scoreboard is an embarrassment, not only to Lowell High School, but to the city of Lowell. You have visiting teams, Methuen, Haverhill, Lawrence, Chelmsford, Tewksbury, and they come into the complex. You might as well have someone walk around with a sign in their hand, because that's the caliber of what that scoreboard is. I was informed about this issue in February by Tom Machado, who, along with Butch Ridiani and Tom Shanahan, are very devout Lowell High School loyal fans. And Tom indicated to me that the scoreboard had to be addressed. In March 2015, I took it upon myself. Nothing was done underhanded. I went out to try to raise the funds to address this issue. I had a meeting with Lowell 5 cent Savings, explained it to them, showed them a brief pamphlet of the scoreboard indicating that if they would sponsor such a scoreboard, that their name would be across that scoreboard. I also had a meeting with John Chumley, Gary Seppi, Trinity Ambulance, and they also said, count me in. Tom Shanahan of the Owl Diner also has indicated he wants to contribute money to the scoreboard. Nothing was done underhanded or trying to select a business to be on that scoreboard. It was done out of the goodness of our hearts. I honestly believe, Madam Chair, that, and Mr. Manager, I honestly believe that we will receive a new scoreboard. There's no doubt in my mind because of this meeting. Mm-hmm. What type of scoreboard? When will it be installed? And who will have the privilege of having their name, their business, going across that scoreboard? There should be a criteria brought forward that if someone donates $100, they shouldn't get the same benefit as someone who donates $8,000. You have to set up some criteria here. Also, I firmly believe that I understand that there's some people looking at different scoreboards. Maybe you should have some of these people on that committee to look at those scoreboards. I think it'd be only fair. And the scoreboard I looked at and presented to Lowell 5 cent Savings, to John Chimley, it was beautiful. But now they're looking at a different scoreboard, according to the athletic director.
And who are we talking about when we say others are? Do we know who the others are?
I don't know. The athletic director could indicate that.
Okay.
So I understand Tom Bellegarde, the athletic director. maybe-
Which perhaps could be more money, more expensive?
No, I don't think it's a money issue. It's the design and the concept of what that scoreboard should be. And, you know, the reason we're here tonight, I'm going to tell you the reason we're here tonight, is because of Tom Machado and Butch Vidiani and Tom Shanahan, not me. They brought a message to me, and we acted on it. That's why we're here tonight. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a new scoreboard at Colley Stadium. Be the same embarrassing issue for years to come. And that's why we're going to get a new scoreboard, because we're bringing this to a head. And that's all I have to say. Many other people would probably like to speak. And Mr. Manager, I know through your wisdom and your guidance and this subcommittee, you will bring forward a scoreboard we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Caulfield. Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Tom? Butch? John?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Manager, Mr. City Solicitor. I just want to tell you that I've talked to John Leahy about this several times over the last year at least. Corey Belanger brought it up in his platform when he was running for City Council. Rita, I got a beautiful letter from you at home, and I appreciate it very much for inviting us here. Bud Caulfield, thank you very much. He called me yesterday. We discussed this even more. And I'm going to tell you from our point of view, from the business community's point of view, you will have no problem raising the money, and I will help spearhead this endeavor. But I firmly believe that you'll have no problem raising the money for the scoreboard. Every time we need something in this city, whether it be for the floods or whether it be for the kids or whatever it is, the money always seems to show up in spades. So Gary and I will do our part to make sure this happens, and I just want to make sure with the city solicitor that we do it the right way. We were involved in this in Haverhill. As you know, the stadium is called Trinity Stadium, but it's a much bigger endeavor than it is here. But we were involved in situations like this in other towns. So we're willing to do it here, and I will guarantee you that you're going to get the scoreboard. So whatever I can do to help.
Thank you very much. I just want to say this. A week ago, I was interviewed by a UMass Lowell psychology student, and one of her questions was, what is the greatest concept about the city of Lowell? And I said, it's people, because when the going gets tough and the need is out there, people step up to the plate. And those that I see in this room are the people that I was talking about. And I have no doubt that we will get a state-of-the-art scoreboard that'll match the beauty of Colley Stadium with the track and all the amenities there. Someone had to have an idea when they saw the decrepit condition of that exists there with the scoreboard. I didn't know that. Somebody figured it out. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, Tom Machado. We didn't know it. We know it now. We'll do everything we can to make this happen. At this point, I am concerned about not making a decision. I'll do a report of progress at the council meeting this evening, but I think that I hear that a committee should be formed. And I think that the committee is looking right at me, so you are the very people that should be on that committee. I know you want to do it right, so do I. I know you want to be fair. I see that, and I think, and I haven't done this because today I should have thought of it. There's a scoreboard at the Songus Arena. I know we don't, but there's a man that was instrumental in something about that, and that was our chancellor. If we could have the city manager probably call Marty to see how do you go about with the sponsorship, or I know that when I go to a game, I see different sponsors come up, and it seems to be equal. And I don't want to hear someone gave 2,000, but someone gave 10. Should we put their name up a little bit less than the other? Or someone gave 100? I want everybody that has done something, I don't know, but you can figure that part out yourself too. I'm not the one that knows, I'm not a professional at this, but I think I want to have a committee formed amongst yourself. You could figure out who you want to be your spokesperson. I like John Chemley speaking fairly and trying to do the best under the law. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how we go about this. We've never done this before, but it's going to happen. But we want to do it the right way. Before I go on, Councilor Corey Belanger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For starters, thank you to the distinguished speakers here this evening that came down and hit the nail right on the head. You know, this is something that, you know, needs to get done. As Councilor Caulfield said, this thing is a disgrace. It's probably as old as the stadium itself, okay? And when visitors come into Lowell, it's an embarrassment. There's no two other ways about it. And it seems to be that we're all rowing in the same direction here, that we need a new scoreboard, we want a new scoreboard. Okay, so that it has been achieved. Now, in my opinion, there's, you know, a committee. First and foremost, Madam Chair, I think that is a must, made up of some of these individuals in this room here this evening. But, you know, I've been involved in charitable things as Owl Diner Charities. The hundreds of thousands they've raised for charities throughout the city has been remarkable. So, I mean, there's other ways to go about this. Either you can, you know, there's a legal process here. RFP it out for one almighty sponsor, whether it be, for instance, just examples now, not putting Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or we raise the money through events, such as golf tournaments, such as renting out a hall at evening, okay, to come up with $25,000, $30,000. Now, keep in mind, when you sell, if it's one person that pays for this board, it's only their name that's going to be on this thing for the life of the scoreboard, rightfully so. Now, I think $25,000, $30,000 can be achieved locally. I have no doubt, especially when names like Tommy Shanahan are behind it, John Chumley, Bud Caulfield. If we can pay for it privately and we can achieve that, now you generate revenue for advertising. Now whoever wants their name on the board, that goes to the park and go for maintenance and whatnot. You know, I'm just throwing out a couple possibilities here. The good thing is that we're all in agreement that something needs to get done. But, you know, just a couple avenues that we could go that I think $25,000, $30,000 between a golf tournament and renting out Lindsay's Hall for an evening at a $20 admission would almost button it up right there, if you want me. In this community, I have no doubt. It's easier said than done. It's a lot of work, a lot of planning. I don't deny that. But in the end, it could be achieved. I believe just 2 events could achieve this, pay for it, and now any advertising on that board is revenue. And I think that's what I would be leaning towards. I'm only one opinion, and there's a lot of guests in this room. There's going to be a lot of opinions along the way, but I think that makes the most sense. It's been done before. That's what this Songus Arena does internally on their boards inside. So I think a couple options, but I like option B a little bit better because again, anybody who puts their name on that board, it's money every month, every year, and it would add up to more than $25,000 and $30,000 in just a few years, in my opinion. So again, just Madam Chair, just a few options, if you will. Look for input. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Mayor Rodney Elliott. Sorry to demote you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I couldn't agree more. I think I know the solicitor has rendered an opinion on something that Councilor Belanger had brought forward relative to soliciting or having corporate sponsorship for, I think it was the high school or any other municipal venue. I think this is a trend that we're going to see happen quite frequently in the future. I think it's a good thing to relieve the burden at any level to taxpayers. Councilor Caulfield, nice to see you. Father-in-law Tom and the Owl Diner Roundtable. But I think more importantly, I sense the frustration because when you sit in the stands, as these loyal fans do week after week, And it's a pride issue. We talk about Lowell pride a lot. And you get a group of individuals that they don't just talk about it, they do something, and they raise the money, and then all of a sudden it sort of hits a roadblock or hits a stone wall and it stops. It's very frustrating. So moving forward, I think it's important to have a policy in place, and I don't think we really have to go too far to reinvent the wheel on this. All we have to do is look right up the street. If anybody is good about raising money for a particular purpose, it's Marty Meehan. And he sells everything. He solicits money from corporate America for everything you can possibly imagine. And I think that makes sense. And you take a step further, if you go to the spinner's field, I mean, the owner is pretty ingenious with doing the same thing. And I think the same policy should be in place moving forward for whatever it is. But I think the scoreboard, we can sell and make some money on it from the digital perspective. That makes a lot of sense. But let's move forward and get something going before it's September. And the same broken scoreboard has to be, is not fixed. It just seems that the wheels of government need to go a little bit quicker. And, quite frankly, it's the Lowell High Field. If people want to advertise digitally, like they do at the Songus Arena, there's nothing permanent on that scoreboard. It's just flashed up. I think that makes all the sense in the world. It's the Lowell High Field. You can probably sell everything else in that stadium, but I think it makes sense. I just wanted to weigh in knowing that there is some frustration, understandably so, and you, Madam Chair, are going to bring this to fruition and move forward so we can raise the money with people in this community and get a new scoreboard. That's what it's all about.
Thank you. Christine, would you like to weigh in on it, or
Sure. I don't know if the manager has any opening comments
Mr.
to it.
Manager? Sorry, Mr. Manager?
With all due respect to Marty Meehan, it's Peter King, the Director of Corporate Sponsorship, that made sure all of those advertisements are there. But Chancellor Meehan has made him available to us to consult. So I think he would be a person that we'd want to have on this committee.
Yes.
Because he'd know a lot about scoreboards and advertising. So I'll reach out to him and see if he'd participate in this venture.
So having said that, Mr. Manager, Councilor Rourke?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to form a College Stadium Scoreboard Committee to be named by the city manager, and hopefully by his words tonight, it sounds like Mayor Caulfield has already started that process. So hopefully he'll be part of that committee that could lead the citizens of Lowell to be involved in this.
Seconded by Councilor Leahy. All those in favor? Roll call.
Chairman Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Leahy.
Yes.
Counsel Rook.
Yes.
3 yeas.
I think that's a start of something big. Do you hear?
Madam Chair, can I just ask one other question?
Sure.
I think this chamber, excuse me, this chamber in itself, motion by Council Leahy, is a good example of, I'm not sure if we're trying to reinvent the wheel or if it's even necessary. The city put up $25,000 for this, for this renovation, and we accepted. I mean, this room was essentially privately paid for, the renovation for, how did we do it here? How did we accept donations from all of the artists in here? I know that their art is hanging, but I don't think we're comparing apples to oranges, but it's a little bit similar that we didn't have to go through this whole, jumping through all these hoops. Mr. Manager? Or the solicitor?
Well, the difference is that there's no advertisement by the artists here in the chamber in return for it. It was a
Right.
true gift.
Right.
Whereas in return
Well, we did put
for-
their names up. I'm sure
I know,
there's
but
no
I'm saying if they're on a scoreboard, then they're getting something in return. So that's why you have to go through the RFP process.
That's the difference. I hope you understand that. Do you understand what the manager just said? I mean, there are times on the council agenda, many times, where we get $500 from Comcast to go towards the mayor's Christmas party that he has for the public. That's a gift. They don't look for anything like their name or anything else. But this is a little bit different when you look for corporate sponsors or you look for a sponsorship, and we're going to give you something back by putting your name digitally imposed on a scoreboard. That's not just a gift, you're getting something. So we have to go by the law, and don't think we don't appreciate it, but we don't want someone to come by and say, gee, I would have liked my name on that scoreboard, and you didn't give me a chance. That's the difference, and that's why you'll probably see an article in the paper, and those that might not be here tonight might say, gee, I'd like to give $10,000 too, and it would only be fair. That's the only reason. You hear there, Darlin? Okay. So I think this is a great start. I think that, and I would hope to God that all of you are on that committee. I'm not picking you, but we're throwing the ball to the city manager, so I think that'd be a good start. I'll do a report of progress on it. Rome wasn't built in a day. The scoreboard probably was in bad condition for years, so a few more months or whatever, because I want to know, what is the price? How much can we raise? There's many questions that haven't been answered yet.
Sir.
Bud, do you want to get up, say what you had to say? Sorry to delay you.
Thank you. Just one last comment. We don't want to be on this committee to dictate to no one. We just want to be there to more or less agree to what this scoreboard's going to look like. And I just want to pick up what Elliot indicated. Chancellor Meehan has done an incredible job at UMass Lowell over the last 8 years. And if he lived by the policy that we're going to live by, UMass Lowell wouldn't look like it is today. He has people sponsoring buildings and so forth. I don't think he waited for people to solicit. He just went out and got those sponsors.
That's right.
And I don't want to let you forget this. You have 3 major sponsors right here. Trinity Ambulance, $10,000. Low 5-cent Savings, they came to the plate and said, we'll give $10,000. The Owl Diner, they're going to give $2,000. We can't forget these 3 sponsors. No matter who comes forward, they must be part of this process. Thank you.
Thank you. And we won't forget them either. Councilor Leahy.
Thank you. Honestly, I would like to see the scoreboard up by September, if there's any possible way of doing that. Second of all, we have people here that want to sponsor. We'll hear from the solicitor in a minute, and we got to figure out a way, to get the board paid for and up. But as other councilors had mentioned, there's the potential for a revolving fund to go to the parks to keep the maintenance of Colley Stadium up. And you have so many different venues there. So there's advertising potential for everything. The football games that are there, the lacrosse games are there, the soccer games there, track and field events. I mean, these are all separate. If we get some sort of a board that has video type of advertising on it, you could, if there was a football event, someone might come in like Wilson Footballs or something and advertise for the night. The same with soccer, track, and all that. So what we did, what we learned through the school department is through certain fees, you can keep the gyms going. And this is something that we should look at to keep the Colley Stadium going up. There's so many needs out there, the parking lot and the upkeep, the painting and everything. So if there's some way to fit that into the game plan, that should be considered too. So we have a lot of great people here and we appreciate everything. So I think first of all, we got to get the committee going tomorrow and have a meeting tomorrow and settle it tomorrow. And then we'll hear from Christine on how we're going to do that. Thank you.
Well, I realize how tough it is to have a proprietor of an ambulance company just up with, you got to come tomorrow, but whenever you can get together, that'd be fine, because we don't want to say tomorrow, but whenever you can make it. I know it's easy to say, but it's hard to get everybody together. But, Mr. Manager, you have an obligation to put a committee together, right? And then we can figure out how much is this going to cost, what the criteria is about, when do we want it up, possibly by September. I know that it can happen if we put good minds together, and you're all here. I want to personally thank each and every one of you, the Owl Diner, and Tom Shanahan, Tom Machado, Butch Fratiani, former Mayor Bud Caulfield, and the Trinity Ambulance, Gary Seppi and John Chemley, and our athletic director, Jim DeProfio. Thank you so much. You make us look good. You make the Commissioner, Tom Belgard, look good. So if we can all be a part of that team that makes that happen, we'll have a grand opening or a ribbon cutting or something. We'll make it happen. Mayor Elliott?
Knowing that there's going to be a committee and there's a process, the quickest way to get a sign up, because I feel that if we wait for the process, i.e. get a committee, set up a policy for advertisement, we won't see this until the following June. I just asked Mr. DeProfio, there's no money in the budget for this, so truly the quickest way is to do what the Owl Diner has suggested, is to accept a sign as a gift, to literally have Trinity and Lowell 5 and Owl Diner go out and buy the sign, donate it to the city, and then in the meantime we can come up with a policy for those individuals that will want to advertise in the meantime. So I think I will speak to the superintendent just to make sure there is no money. It's a shame that there is no money in the budget for a sign, knowing that it is truly dysfunctional. But I think moving forward, that's the quickest way. Otherwise, unless you can get a process, Mr. Manager, that can go concurrently to start the bid process, because that's got to be a 45-day solicitation. I mean, September will be right around the corner before that takes place. So I just think my message is the best and the easiest, quickest way is to truly go out and let the corporate sponsors go out and buy the sign, donate it to the city, and have it installed, and then go through the setting up a policy to sell the advertising, if you will.
And I think if this report of progress is properly announced in an article in the newspaper, maybe through your newspaper, we can get sponsorships by way of reading your newspaper.
And that's not circumventing the process by any stretch. It's just, the way things can be done. The city can accept a gift from people who are willing to buy something, right?
Well,
a true gift.
whatever you decide, because I'm not the attorney, I know a true gift, when you give a gift, you don't get anything back. So there's a difference there. There's a fine line, and I'm not the legal expert here. And I know it's the simplest way, but I don't know if it's the fairest way or the right way. So I'm not going to judge that, but I'm going to refer that to the city manager. And I won't, we're going to recess. We're not going to adjourn from this meeting. We're going to recess because we're going to come back with part 2. Hopefully we have a solution and a criteria plan altogether. So, and please know that whenever you are ready, let me know. We'll come right back here. I waited a month, and I'm sorry, because this motion was timely, but I was not on time because of surgery. So, I mean, you wouldn't have wanted me here a month ago, so I wouldn't have known what we were talking about. But anyway, that's fine. So, any further business, Councilor Belanger?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. I just wanted to concur with Mayor Elliott that, to work with the solicitor to get the speediest process out.
That's right.
Because, and I want to thank former Councilor Caulfield of enlightening me. I didn't know we had 22,000 in commitments before the first meetings ever established. So a giant public thank you to Trinity Ambulance, Lowell 5, and the Owl Diner. With that, it was better than 2/3 the way there already. So this is good stuff. I tell you, all the way, and we're almost home already. A lot needs to be done, but this is.
And we'll make it.
Absolutely.
We'll make it.
absolutely. So I
believe
just wanted to thank those, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any further business before us? I hope everybody's happy, because I surely am. This is a great evening. I know things are going to get done. Thank you to the heart and soul of this city. Thank you so much. Motion to recess.
Motion to
by
recess.
Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Leahy. Thank you very much for being here.